this is a review of the Edgenuity lesson, Factoring Polynomials Double Grouping. So for the examples I have, whenever you have 4 terms, so 1, 2, 3, 4, the only way that you can factor it is to do this factor by grouping. So the way that I like to look at it is I usually draw a line in between the 4 terms because I'm looking at them for right now separately. I'm going to divide something out of the first 2, and then I'm going to divide something out of the last 2 terms. So looking at the first 2, what is the biggest thing we can divide out of x cubed and 4x squared? This one doesn't have a coefficient other than 1, so there's nothing we can do with the numbers. But they both have x's in there. This one has 3, this one has 2, so you take out the least amount. So out of the first 2, I'm going to divide out an x squared. X cubed divided by x squared, so I had 3 and I took 2 off. That just leaves me with an x. 4x squared divided by x squared is just 4. Okay, so now let's look at the back 2. What's the biggest thing I could divide out of positive 5x and positive 20? So this one doesn't have a variable on it, so I know I can't take any x's off, but they're both divisible by 5. So I'm going to take out a positive 5. And that leaves me with 5x divided by 5 is just x. 20 divided by 5 is 4. If these don't match when you get to this step, then either it's a prime polynomial or there's an error somewhere. So then the fully factored form, the first factor is x plus 4, the ones that match. And then the second factor is the part that's left over, the x squared and the positive 5. Looking at the second one here, again, we have 4 terms, so I'm going to split it in half. The first 2, again, it looks like all we're going to be able to take out is an x squared because there's no coefficient other than 1 here. So x cubed, if I take out an x squared, I'm left with just an x. 5x squared divided by x squared is just 5. Okay, now let's look at the back 2. If the third term here is negative, so I have a negative 6x, you're going to want to negative out because see how this is a positive x and we know that we need the second thing to match it. So if this part right here is ever negative, take out the negative. So I'm going to take out a negative, and then the biggest number that goes into 6 and 30 is 6. So negative 6x divided by negative 6 gives me a positive x. Negative 30 divided by negative 6 is a positive 5. So then these match again. So our factors are the x plus 5, the part that matches, and then our second factor is the part left over, x squared minus 6. I would say pause the video and see if you can do this one on your own. Hopefully you did that. So out of the first 2, again, they're both divisible by x squared. So x cubed divided by x squared is just x. Negative 4x squared divided by x squared is negative 4. Out of the back 2 numbers, the biggest number that goes into 7 and 28 is 7. 7x divided by 7 is x. Negative 28 divided by 7 is negative 4. These match, so that's our first factor. So we're pulling that out. And then we're left with x squared plus 7. Okay, last one. Split it in half. Okay, this time we have a coefficient other than 1. So what is the biggest number that we can divide out of 10 and 35? 5. And looking at the variables, we have an x cubed and an x squared, so we take out the least amount. And then we actually divide it out. So 10 divided by 5 is 2. X cubed divided by x squared is just an x. It's positive. 35 divided by 5 is 7. X squared, if I divide it by itself, it's gone then. Now again here, see how our coefficient here behind my squiggly line is a negative? That automatically means I need to take a negative something out. So the biggest number that I can divide out of 4 and 14 is going to be 2. So don't forget it was a negative 2 though. So negative 4x divided by negative 2 is positive 2x. Negative 14 divided by negative 2 is positive 7. So these match, which is great. So our final answer here is 2x plus 7. And then the leftover part, 5x squared minus 2.